The people who live here never think about the future. There won't be any more customers. We're under martial law. After dealing with destruction for too many times to count,
How can they expect any of us to know exactly what we want to do with our lives by now anyway? Let's be real, we've only been alive 17 years. How do we know?
No. Okay, just stop. I can't take this anymore. I need them to stop, okay? Stop. Okay, so Adult Swim put out the last trailer for their new Fooly Cooly anime, the now third Fooly Cooly anime, Fooly Cooly Grunge, and it looks fine. On its own, if I was just seeing that, I think the 3D animation's cool, character design's cute, oh, that music's pretty good, and I think it looks fine, okay? I really do, but I can't take this anymore. They need to stop. Look, okay, so Fooly Cooly is one of my favorite things ever. It's definitely maybe my favorite anime. It's up there. It's either that one or the one with the robots and that sad girl. It's one of those two, okay? And I don't even like saying it's my favorite anime because it's just one of my favorite things, okay? I mean, like, it surpasses just being an anime to me because it's so good. I mean, I've not seen any other art or anything that's really touched me the same way Fooly Cooly has because it is so good. It is perfect. It is perfect. And I think perfection is a really boring metric to rate something on. Like, I've seen a million perfect movies, and yeah, I can say something is flawless, it has a perfect 3-act structure, it has perfect characters, but it can still be boring. I've seen so many perfect things that just kind of suck, okay? But Fooly Cooly, for what it is absolutely perfect. And that's pretty shocking because for what Fooly Cooly tries, it shouldn't be perfect. Okay, so Evangelion, which is one of my other favorite things, is not perfect. It's absolutely a masterpiece. It's a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, but it isn't perfect. And that's because it tries so much. There's so much going on and there's so many different little things. I mean, they screw up a couple times. There are issues with it. A 10 out of 10 and being a masterpiece does not mean it's perfect, but it doesn't have to. Usually perfection comes from not trying. It comes from a lack of ambition. But Fooly Cooly is one of the most ambitious things I've ever seen, and it's perfect, and they nailed it. It's just shocking, and it will always shock me, and everything about it I just love. It's amazing. And a lot of what makes it so amazing is the people who made it. It is such a personal project for this team. And this team, let me get this straight, is probably the best team that's ever worked in anime. It's the Gainax team, but the good Gainax team. The one who made Evangelion, the one who made Gurren Lagann, they made Gunbuster. That era of Gainax was probably the best anime production team ever. It was so good. And what Fooly Cooly was so good because it was such a personal and just touching project to the people who made it. Nobody else could make Fooly Cooly, period, okay? So, why are so many other people making Fooly Cooly? And side note, when you're talking about Fooly Cooly, I know technically on the box and the name of it and stuff, it's technically FLCL, but don't say FLCL. You don't say FLCL, you say Fooly Cooly, okay? I'm telling you this now, because if you go to like a cool party or something, if you're coming to my party, if we're broing down or something and you say FLCL, you're gonna get kicked out of that party. If you're like, you know, it's your wedding day or something, and you're walking up to your partner and you're going, oh hey, by the way, I just watched FLCL, the wedding's over. Okay, I'm just saying this for you, okay? Just don't, it's Fooly Cooly, okay? So the legal explanation for why so many people that aren't the people who made Fooly Cooly are making Fooly Cooly is because basically Hideaki Anno and Kazuya Tsurumaki like ended up leaving Gainax, and the people who ran Gainax were like terrible, and then like Hideaki Anno bought the rights back to Gunbuster and Fooly Cooly, but then they had already sold them to other people. It's a whole thing. But basically, what ended up happening is the people who shouldn't own Fooly Cooly now own Fooly Cooly, and that's how Adult Swim, for some reason, started publishing the last 3, soon to be 4, Fooly Cooly anime, and they're not good. Now, okay, let's get another thing out of the way. If I say I don't like something and you like it, that's cool. I have nothing against you. I just don't want to be one of those guys, you know, the people on YouTube who everything they say, they have to preface it like 20 times about it just being their opinion, and just personally to them, they think this. And I know some people might, okay, look, if you like it, that's fine. I'm glad you do. I wish I could like it, but I don't like it, and don't get mad at me for not liking it. Nobody's gonna watch this. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there, okay? Nothing matters. You're gonna die, I'm gonna die. Literally nothing matters. But the Fooly Cooly sequels are not good. And of course, they're not good because it's Fooly Cooly. You cannot make a sequel to that without any of the original people and think it's gonna be good. Arguably, you can't make a sequel to it and think it's gonna be good, but still, okay. Anyway, they made Progressive and Alternative. Fooly Cooly Progressive, Fooly Cooly Alternative, and they're both not very good for a lot of reasons. And I don't really want to completely review them, but on a purely technical standpoint, on just watching the anime with no expectations from any other Fooly Cooly, they're just boring. They're kind of boring and they're cheaply made. That's it. They're just kind of unremarkable. And the most remarkable thing about them is that they have the name Fooly Cooly and the Pillows does the soundtrack. What were they trying to be? I mean, are they sequels to Fooly Cooly? Or are they just making Fooly Cooly again? Because this is a problem that I think a lot of franchises have when they try to make a franchise out of something. What do you do? To the people who made this, Fooly Cooly apparently needs to have the same city, the same ironing board things, and Haruko, and like a thing popping out of somebody's forehead, or somebody getting emotional and exploding. That needs to be what Fooly Cooly's about, and it also needs to be 6 episodes, which is confusing to me because the 6 episode thing was also very specific to how they were making Fooly Cooly. Now it's just 6 episodes because it can be. And I like what some of these shows are trying to do. I like the protagonist of Alternative? Progressive? Whichever one's on screen. They're Progressive, Alternative, terrible names. But I like the protagonist of one of them, and I like that it takes the same idea from Fooly Cooly, which is about growing up, and it just restructures it and puts it in another time in somebody's life. Cool, but then it just makes Fooly Cooly again. It does the exact same thing, and it's like, why? Why would you try to make something, like if you're gonna make a sequel to one of the best things ever made, the best thing you can do is make it different. Because when you get down to it, it's really just Fooly Cooly again. And I didn't really care because I just decided, you know what, I don't need to watch all of these. I watched a couple episodes of both of them and I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, stuff happens. I'm glad the Pillows are still getting employed. And you know what, we always have the original. And that's still true, but now they just put out a trailer for Fooly Cooly Grunge, which is one of 2 more Fooly Coolys they'll be releasing. And this one, more than any of them, is just Fooly Cooly. The main guy is just Naoto. Okay, his dad wants him to run the family business. He's a little kid, he's got a thing poking out of his forehead. Haruko wants a thing out of his forehead. Like, I'm sure they'll do something to change it. But if you're going to make a sequel to Fooly Cooly, stop remaking Fooly Cooly, but worse. The other thing is that even with the best script in the world, even with some of the best directors in the world, it is never gonna reach that quality because Adult Swim or whoever's financing these things are not giving these shows any production value at all. These things look so boring, and that's part of the reason why watching them is just so painful, is because you're just sitting there and it's like, you know, like seasonal anime, and you're just like, it's that. It's just so boring and it's so cheaply shot and produced. It's just, oh my God. And you know what isn't? The original show. Like, every single frame of the original show, I would put up on a wall. It's one of the most beautiful anime I've ever seen, one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And that's a lot of because like the time it was made, the art direction was incredible. That old cell-drawn animation looks so good. The color design, the art direction, everything about the original Fooly Cooly just makes it like one of the most beautiful things you can watch. And then for a sequel, they're like, here you go. What? And sure, okay, sure. Fooly Cooly Grunge is 3D, so maybe it'll be a little more interesting to look at. I doubt it. 3D animation is still pretty expensive, but it could be something. Even if it is, it's just gonna be a remake of Fooly Cooly again. I mean, how many times are we gonna watch that? Like, I guess 4 times, because they're making another one. But this wasn't supposed to be a review of those shows, because Grunge hasn't come out yet, and I also don't really care about the other 2. If you like the other 2, I've heard a lot of people do, I'm glad you do, I don't. But my problem more is that if we're going to make a sequel to Fooly Cooly, okay, which apparently we are, and hell, honestly, after the 4th one, there'll probably be even more, why don't we make it something different, you know? Look, what is Fooly Cooly really about, okay? It's about growing up. Period, okay? That's it. It's really just about growing up. And there are a lot of things you can add in. Everybody wants a Kanti-like robot in every one of these. Haruko has to be there, the Vespa has to be there, the same city has to be there. If you're making a sequel to Fooly Cooly, All it needs to be, in my opinion, is a story about growing up that's episodic and short and concise. I think that's all you really need to do. Yes, I think most people would say you need the Pillows soundtrack to be in there, but I also kind of disagree with that. Don't get me wrong, the Pillows is fantastic, but I don't know, I think a lot of what made that soundtrack so good was A, the original production team worked with the music to align it with the animation, which these new ones aren't really, and B, it was kind of the point of the show. You know, like the Pillows soundtrack was very melancholic and that went perfectly with what it was telling. Like the story it was telling in the original Fooly Cooly was about like growing up and like the city always being the same day over and over again and like no change. And then that incredibly like soft melancholic soundtrack was perfect for that. But if you're just telling some other story, do you really need the same people? But every single show is just about Haruko trying to get a thing out of somebody else to get something, and then they're in the same city and it's like, you are never going to make a show that is comparable to Fooly Cooly if you're just doing what Fooly Cooly is. What you should be doing is taking the themes, the message, and the idea of Fooly Cooly and transforming it into something else. That's what I've been saying Evangelion should do. I mean, like, I think a sequel to Evangelion that was like something Evangelion that was about the same stuff but in a completely different area with none of the connections would be fantastic. And I kind of like Gundam did that in a lot of their sequels. I just take the ideas and just put them somewhere else. That's it. That's all I have to say. They should make a sequel to Fooly Cooly. That's like that. That's what I said. I'm going to watch Grunge. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe it'll be really good. Maybe the one after that'll be really good too. I doubt it though. That's all I had to say. This is a new style of video I've been making where I just talk and I think, you know, while I'm filming the video, I'm like, oh yeah, so then the editing isn't gonna take as long and then it'll be okay. But then the editing does take as long and then I just get burnt out again, which is what like the last video did. And I have like 2 other videos that did the exact same thing. I don't know why I thought this would work, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. And yeah, they should just either let Fooly Cooly die or they should just do something new with it, you know? Anyway, I got a new haircut. I look like a brick. I look like a 2x4, you know what I mean? Like I look like I look like a stock photo of like a 13-year-old white boy. I look like the sentence, hi, welcome to Chili's, you know, like, hi, welcome to The Gap. Welcome to the JC Penney. Hello, like I just look so stupid. What else do I have to say? Oh yes, thank you to my Patreon, Jackson R. I have a Patreon page. If anybody is still watching this, I have a Patreon page because you know, because I make so many videos. But I don't have any money. That's most of it. I'm young and I'm living in an expensive city, and I don't have any money. That's pretty much it. I don't normally talk at the end of my videos, but I'm standing here and this whole video was just me talking, so what do you want to talk about? What else is going on? Let's keep this going. I like this connection we got going here. What else is going on? Watanabe, the Cowboy Bebop guy, put out a new trailer for Lazarus. That looks very good. I hope it's not only like 8 episodes or something. What else have I watched recently that I liked? I'm just gonna keep, we're in this now, okay? What else have I watched recently that I liked? I rewatched Ping Pong the animation. God damn, what a show. I read manga. I've been reading manga. I read Blood on the Tracks, which, here's a mini review of Blood on the Tracks. That's incredibly specific and nobody's gonna get anything out of. Blood on the Tracks is an incredible horror manga. I don't like horror manga, but it's super gripping. I read like 90 chapters in one day the first day I was reading it. It's like chapter to chapter to chapter. You just don't know what's gonna happen. It's just incredible. It's so good. And then you get to like chapter 100 or something, and then the entire premise just goes, nah, and then it just changes everything. And now it's just like this flaccid little thing. It's really disappointed me. I mean, maybe it'll get better, but like, it was so good. Read the first, you know, X amount of chapters of Blood on the Tracks until you get to the point where I'm talking about, or is it Blood on the Leaves? That's the Kanye song. Blood on the Tracks, yeah. And I think that's all I have to say. I don't do this. Am I still gonna have like a thank you card thing at the end of my videos like I always have. The reason I have that is because I hate editing so much. And after editing for like 5 straight days, because I'm an idiot, I guess, and I don't know why these videos take me so long. After editing for so long, I just get to the point where I'm just like this crippled, like defeated guy. And I'm like, oh my God, anybody that watches this is like, wow, thank you. And that's why I do that. And so thank you for watching, if you're watching. But yeah, I'm not used to talking. I got done filming this a lot quicker than I did. Now I'm just talking. I'll have a new video out soon. Ish. A new video out soon-ish. I have like 4 planned videos. If you want to look, it's on my Patreon. It's like a free post. Why am I still talking?